Have you ever pondered why certain men seem to have it so easy? Attract any woman's attention it's not about appearances, money or status, is based on their high-pitched speech. Value men have an unidentified weapon, and contrary to what you may believe, their women are left missing words, even when they won't be around for a while. I'll tell you exactly how you can in a few minutes. Converse with a woman in a manner that maintains her keeping you in mind long after you've bid farewell. Observe carefully, as this will modify your interactions with women. The power of first for all-time impressions. Establishing the context for long-lasting initial sensations of attraction are the foundation of how high-value guys build a feeling of want and interest, yet the majority of men misunderstand this. They put too much emphasis on making an impression. A woman immediately, whether by physical attributes, dramatic tales, or tremendous appeal and high regard for men, recognize that the first discussion is not to impress her. Rather, it's about making a faint but enduring impression on her. Keep in mind that the true secret is how the way guys make women feel during the initial interaction. They acknowledge that women are more sensitive to emotions than men, recognizing subtle body language clues, vocal inflection, and even the vigor predicted. So for your carrying yourself before you ever utter a single word determines if she will consider long after the talk about you concludes the implicit language of assurance. You can't pretend to be confident. It's firmly anchored in your perspective, you and your position in the world. A high-value man enters any circumstance, being aware that his position adds value is straight, his motions are purposeful, and he spoke calmly. He doesn't rush through his words when he speaks. Phrases or supplying the atmosphere with every word is superfluous. This deliberate, leisurely pace does something strong that makes her paying attention, speaking gently, and using signals of confidence to her subconscious that you're in speech control. Confidence is not concerning being loud or aggressive. It's about women who are measured and intentional, are attracted to men who aren't feeling the responsibility to demonstrate their worth with each when handled appropriately. Sentence silence can be among your most valuable possessions. Value men don't mind taking breaks in dialogue. They recognize that the silence gives the woman time to consider, contemplate, and absorb what, as said just now, it creates a vacuum. She'll want to fill out more frequently, more likely to desire to carry on with the talking to impress. Your ability to regulate your emotions is women who are gorgeous are inherently drawn to men. Place a high emphasis on stability and security. Men demonstrate emotional stability by regulating their responses. If she makes a playful remark or a light, don't respond. Challenge your way. Defensively or emotionally rather than highly. Value guys are able to dismiss it with humor or transform it into a light-hearted task of their own. She can see from this that you're not readily rattled, which is really signals of emotional resilience that are appealing. The ability to manage pressure is a crucial quality that women frequently look for unconsciously in a partner. Each discussion offers a chance for a valuable man to exhibit emotional maturity, which makes an impression that lasts when you stay calm, and she'll begin to see you as an individual. Someone who distinguishes themselves from the group of men who are quick to react or eager to please. When you act defensively, you'll appear composed, constructed, and above all, confident, subtly expressive motions. High-value males don't require large motions to demonstrate that they comprehend, believe small gestures have a greater impact than something as trivial as the manner in which you shake her hand to demonstrate your composure. The way you grin or your voice when she talks can have a big influence. Women are regularly observing body language. More than men are aware of how valuable men are. Radiate warmth and authority via little deliberate motions. whether it's keeping eye contact and nodding to demonstrate you're holding your hands or listening. Calm and never. The mystery factor is the second fidgeting factor. The art of mystery is underappreciated in contemporary dating, particularly in a world where individuals are accustomed to posting too much on high-value males, are aware of this on social media. Giving away too much too quickly detracts from the thrill and fascination of the interaction that women are attracted to, things that they don't really comprehend, and that is precisely why being a little mysterious can be really appealing. The psychology underlying this mystery is straightforward when something is unclear or just demonstrated in part that our brains are drawn to. Resolution. We often become fixated on things that are not quite obvious since we wish high-value men employ them to figure them out, things to their benefit right from the start. The first time a man of exceptional value talks, he provides pique with just enough details. Her curiosity, but not enough to fulfill her interest. For instance, if she inquires what he works for a living, he may reply, "I like it even though it's a little complicated." This minor reply gives her further inquiries, indicating that she will consider him reliving the exchange in her mind. Afterward thoughts and attempting to decipher him, she'll wish to learn more. And that's exactly what causes her to miss. He was purposeful. The important thing here is to be ambiguous. Keep your ambiguity high and deliberate. Value guys don't shy away from inquiries to be. Their use of ambiguity is annoying. To maintain the flow of the talk, it's about leaving after demonstrating enough some things left unsaid, such as if she queries you about your interests or what you prefer engaging in throughout your leisure time, rather than enumerating all the things you could say. "I've been engaged in an undertaking that's actually thrilling. I'll share it with you later." She is left wondering what this response means. It is, and as her interest increases, she'll anticipate the upcoming discussion, since she wants to hear the narrative. Being evasive isn't the goal of mystery. It's about giving a tremendous sense of depth. Men of value are aware that they must divulge any information regarding their lives to pique a woman's curiosity about fact, that the more you keep hidden, the more she'll utilize her imagination to fill in the holes, frequently making you even more fascinating. As opposed to sharing a lot of strategic silence is another crucial component of the secret is knowing when to keep quiet in silence can be used in many conversations. Some people find it uncomfortable, but it's worth it. Men flourish in these situations because they permit the silence to create a little suspense. If you constantly fill in the blanks that never allow her time to reflect about, men will allow her to have strong feelings. After giving birth, there are peaceful moments. An extremely fascinating assertion, or examine these fleeting intervals, not just express assurance while simultaneously fostering suspense. Consider posing a probing or provocative query, and instead of following up right away, you allow the quiet. This silence forces her to linger, analyze the discussion in greater detail. Establishing an intimate moment with words cannot give her what she'll remember on her own. That discussion far more vividly because it went beyond words. Traded. It was a sentimental play the long game. The allure of mystery games is that they're most efficient when paired with patience, that you're not attempting to disclose all of the initial meetings. High-value males are long-term orientated, realizing that a slow burn is frequently stronger than immediate attraction. By exposing a small portion at a time, you maintain her interest over time. Whenever she engages with you, she'll wish to learn a little bit more, since not everything is being laid out at once. She will keep you on her mind in trying to figure you out in between meetings. Tension is increased by this slow unveiling, and expectation, causing her to miss you further when you're not in the mystery, makes her want to return. Reveal further facets of your identity. The third emotional impact words are cheap, and anyone can use them. able to put a few phrases together. What distinguishes high-value men is their capacity to evoke feelings. In each encounter, it's not only regarding what you state, it's concerning the feelings you arouse in men of high value. Recognize that women have emotions. Creatures and how you affect her emotions throughout a discussion is much more significant than the information included in the high-value men don't appreciate discussion itself. Spend time engaging in small talk, since they might take part in it for a short while to get the discussion, but they soon switch to deeper, more significant conversations. They pose inquiries that delve deeply into what she finds exciting, what she values, and what sets her apart by doing this is that they produce emotional peaks and valleys inside. This emotional roller coaster of a talk coaster maintains her interest and commitment. Within the interaction that poses thought-provoking doubts, one of the most effective methods for producing an emotional encounter is by posing inquiries that cause her to reflect and feel. Men of high value don't accept trivial inquiries such as, "What's your where do you work?" or "What is your favorite color?" Instead, they ask more in-depth questions, such as what you're passionate about that the majority of people would not be aware of, or what has excited you the most. Completed during the last 12 months, these kinds of asking questions advances the discussion beyond the exterior and urge her to think on her personal feelings. By posing such enquiries, you're not just asking her to consider her experiences, but in addition to establishing a connection, she'll believe that you're sincere about developing a stronger relationship with her. This is uncommon in the fast-paced. This emotional depth in the dating environment builds a relationship that increases her likelihood of, "When you're not around, I miss you." Using narrative to elicit men that value emotion. Also use using narrative as a means of producing impact on emotions. Yet these aren't only any tales, they are intended to arouse particular feelings, such as if you're attempting to instill a spirit of adventure in. You may tell a story about an impromptu journey you made or a fascinating new experience in order to elicit susceptibility. You could describe a personal struggle you conquered. The crucial step is to make the "you want" stories that are emotive and relatable. For her to experience anything when she hears speaking to you, impressing is not the goal. Her successes are what it's about. Establishing a sentimental bond that she will recall for a long time. The discussion comes to an end when she will consider the exchange later. Not just what you did, but how you made her feel, stated that evoking strong feelings. Developing emotional hooks entails incorporating components that speak to her emotions and experiences to make sure she relates to your story on a deeper level, generating feelings. A hook is an instance in the dialogue that remains with her for a long time. Once it is finished, these hooks can be produced by a well-placed compliment, a light-hearted jest, or perhaps a group giggle. High-value males are skilled at planting these emotional tethers all around the talk to make sure she recalls. For example, you may give them a compliment, her in a distinct and particular manner, like, "I adore your intense enthusiasm for insert topic." You don't often meet people with that type of passion. This kind of praise isn't. It's about her, not just how she appears. Character, which greatly increases its significance. That compliment will be replayed in her head later, reminding her of the feelings of joy. During the chat, she felt the ability to comprehend the force of absence. The push-pull dynamic, one of the most effective instruments. That push-pull is what high-value males utilize. Dynamic, which entails having emotions accessible right now and then. Taking a step back to make room later. High-value males are too aware of that. Of anything, including attention, can be directed towards following. Following an excellent exchange, they distance themselves, not because they're playing games, but since they are aware of the importance of space during such times. When absence, a female has the chance to consider the discussion she initiates, to mentally relive it, recalling how he made her feel, and she starts to, the important thing here is not to miss him. Send her a ton of texts or persistent communication following the value that men provide, giving her room to breathe, enabling her to perceive the lack of his presence in this. She realizes this after gaining emotional distance, that she desires additional reasons why excessive communication is fatal appeal in the instantaneous world of today messaging. It's simple to become caught up in the constant trap communication, but men of high worth recognize that excessive communication might be fatal. Appeal when you're constantly available, constantly sending or replying to texts. You instantly give her no space to "I miss you." There's no secret, expectation and absence of emotional accumulation. The ideal men are high value, balance by limiting your availability. They could hold off for a few hours before responding to an SMS, or giving yourself a day to, before contacting you, pass. This isn't concerning being impolite or distant. It's about realizing that attraction flourishes in the interval between exchanges. When you're not in her face all the time, she has time to consider your actions. Who are you with and why aren't you? This uncertainty is fueled by messaging her back, her wish to see you. The technique of leaving her desiring once again more. When valuable men leave her talking or interacting, they don't drag, leaving her wanting more, saying goodbye, or attempting to maintain the discussion when it begins to decline. They leave at a high point instead. Putting her on a high emotionally, this methodology causes her to anticipate the subsequent conversation, since she didn't receive all she desired at that precise time. For example, of the art of departing after a fantastic, her desire more. When valuable men leave her talking or interacting, they always leave her yearning for more, rather than remaining till the discussion stops. They may argue that "I must run, but I would love to carry on this discussion." At a later date, this strategy not only concludes the discussion in a constructive manner, but also sows the seeds for the future conversation she'll be anticipating. In the meanwhile, and until we meet again, number 5, she will miss you getting back in touch. Becoming proficient in the field of re-engagement timing is an important component of the procedure. After the creation of the area, she will miss you, and high-value men are thoughtful about how and when the time of her return to life is. Anything that reaches out too quickly can suppress the allure while you're waiting. Long can result in the emotional bond. High-value males strike the fade ideal equilibrium by re-engaging at just the appropriate time. After she's had time to "hasn't moved on yet, but I still miss them." Demands an acute awareness of timing and feeling. High-value males are able to read a circumstance and determine when a woman is prepared to hear from them once more, but they don't simply text them casually when they re-engage, and they do so intentionally. May recall a particular instance from the most recent discussion, rekindling the emotional bond that was established. This deliberate re-engagement demonstrates that they're not merely aiming for they're carrying on with the significant exchange that started prior to re-interacting with depth. When valuable guys get back in touch with them, avoid going back to the surface level discussions. Rather, they expand upon the basis of an emotional bond that was laid during the most recent conversation. They may make reference to a particular item that was talked about, proving that they were actually paying attention and are devoted to her feelings and thoughts. For instance, if she stated that she was working on, they might inquire on the status of a ongoing project that I've been considering. What you stated here suggests that they have other interests except her. appearance or simple responses they're looking for. What triggers her to act in this way? Re-engagement makes the emotional bond stronger bond and increases her likelihood of "I miss you" when you're not there. Shows you're considerate, thoughtful and committed to her personally, which is uncommon in the dating world nowadays. High-value men aren't only searching for short, flimsy relationships, they're forming something more profound, and women are able to detect they want to stay because of this. Communication at the related conclusion is not just men who value words, know how to generate a sense of mystery and emotional depth. Expectation in each encounter, they talk in a style that makes an impression. Making an impression that allows a woman to miss them when they get back in touch. Intentionally strengthening the emotional connection every time by being proficient in these methods, you'll observe a change in the way women react to you. You won't longer feel compelled to impress or chase. Rather, women will naturally draw towards attracted to you by the mystery. Your emotional and self-assurance affect you most significantly. They miss you when you're not present, demonstrating once more that valuable men don't pursue draw-in,